Hi, Teacher Tina here from VIPKID. One of the main topics of conversation that I have with my candidates and with other teachers is about reward systems. So today, I'm going to discuss my top 3 questions about reward systems, and I'm going to share my top 5 of all-time favorite reward systems with you. So let's get started. First of all, why are reward systems important? This is my opinion. I think that reward systems encourage student output and good behavior. I think they are one of the best tools that we have as teachers for motivating our students, keeping them engaged, and making sure that we are avoiding those unwanted behaviors at the same time. So that's why I think they are so important. Of course, not everybody is as enthusiastic about reward systems as Teacher Tina, but I can tell you firsthand that the students who are extrinsically motivated by reward systems, you using the reward system effectively could mean the difference between that student learning or not learning. So it may be very important for your student, just to keep in mind. The second question people ask me is, what are the reward systems? The reward systems, there are 2 types. The primary reward system that you have is the stars. Now these are the ones that pop up at the top of your classroom, and there are only 5, so you want to use them sparingly, but you do want to use them all. I highly recommend that you give out all 5 stars unless something goes horribly, unspeakably wrong during the class. These students are kind of conditioned to earn all 5, so by you not giving them all 5, they may get a bad impression of you, and they can use these stars to add items to their universe. So they basically can redeem these stars to add things in their own portal. It's really, really motivating for most students to get these stars, so be sure that you are giving them out and giving them out effectively. I personally like to give out the stars every 5 minutes or so. So, since there are 5 stars in 25 minutes, you can do the math. I want to know by about minute 15 that I've given out 3 stars. It helps to keep me on track and it helps to keep the kid engaged. Let's say that your student is very motivated by stars and you already exhausted all of your stars by minute 10. What's in it for the student at this point? The student can just shut off and stop talking because he's already got his stars, right? You could start taking them away, but it's a lot better if you just add them sparingly throughout the class. Similarly, let's say that your student is very motivated by the stars and it's minute 23 and you've only given out 1 star. That student is probably feeling a little crushed. So I suggest giving them out as you go. That's just how I like to do it. It's totally up to you as long as you are using them. So that's the primary system. The secondary reward system is your choice. So you will notice that on the major course classes in the lesson plans, the second page is typically the reward system page. You can certainly use the one that is provided in there. They do provide a document. VIPKID provides a document for you to print those out, and you can use them during the class. Personally, I like to use my own reward systems because I have a lot of fun with them and I find them to be really engaging to my student if I've chosen something unique for my student. That's just my personal choice. Now, you will notice if you look at the teaching center on the teacher's portal that they do recommend that if you are using that secondary reward system that you use 3 of that reward system per 1 star. Personally, I tried that for about a week and it did not work very well for me. I found myself a little distracted by my own reward system. So I like to be a little more organic and flexible with when I give mine out. So for example, let's say that my student did a really great job asking me for help. I might give my student a reward. If my student then later volunteers an answer and the student is usually shy, I give a reward. I don't want to have to spend the time thinking, okay, that was 3, so let me give a star. I just like to do stars every 5 minutes, but that's my preference. You do it how it works for you as long as you are using them effectively. So, how can I use reward systems effectively? Well, I suggest that you cater to your students' interest and to the lesson itself, the lesson topic. So basically here I have the target sentences, vocabulary, and grammar of the lesson. That may sound like a lot, and really you can use any reward system at any time. It doesn't have to relate to the lesson. I personally have lots of them on hand that I can choose at any given moment. So for me, it doesn't take me that long to choose my reward system, especially if you're new. Remember, Rome was not built in a day, so you can kind of accumulate reward systems as you go. But I am going to show you my top 5 as rated by parents reward systems. And I say as rated by parents because these are reward systems that parents have actually told me in the parent feedback that they loved the rewards, that their kids were talking about them the next day. So here they are. I'm very excited to show you. So this first one that I'm going to show you, very popular, very, very popular, is my fake flowers. So these ones are really nice to use if you are doing a lesson about the senses or about colors, about growing. There are a lot of ways that you can incorporate the flowers into the lesson besides just using the flowers, which you can do. For example, I have this little nifty, I think it's for a locker, but I use it as a flower vase that I will stick behind myself during the class. It's magnetic. And throughout the class, my student gets a flower. So I pick the flower, I twirl the flower. So beautiful! I twirl it for my student smells the flower, I smell the flower. It's just all sorts of fun. And it's kind of funny. Parents laugh at this one too, because not only can the kid not smell it, but I can't smell it either because it's a fake flower. So anyway, the flowers can be fun. You don't need to spend a ton of time oohing and awing over the flower. You can just pick it, twirl it, smell it, and then put it back here. And by the end of your lesson, you will have a little bouquet of flowers back here, and you can just simply do one of these. You just grab it. And when you're saying goodbye, you twirl your flowers. Your student got a whole bouquet. So I have these flowers in pretty much every color you can imagine. I got them from the Dollar Tree. They come like this in little bunches. So this bouquet came with 6 flowers, which is perfect for me. That's about how many I typically use, and I always have backups in case I, for whatever reason, go through flowers faster. But since I have different colors, I can also ask my student for her favorite color and then use that color, which is kind of fun. You can mix bouquets. It's just a really cool reward. So that one is great for smelling for the senses. Another one that's really cool for the senses, and this is popular with pretty much every kid. I use this in trial classes. I use this with pretty much any age or level. How exciting does this look? You have no idea what's inside of here, but in the beginning of class, you get a donut! You know, this is super exciting to the kids to get a sweet, and not only does pretty much every kid like sweets, but it's a lot of fun. We get to eat throughout the class, right? And there are all different types of sweets in here. These are little felt things that I got from Target for I think $2 or $3. I just slapped some magnets on the back. This is a cookie board from the Dollar Tree. So basically, there are different rewards available in here. So I have cupcakes, I have donuts, I have popsicles, I have ice cream. The kid doesn't know what is coming out of the bag, and it's really exciting. So, you know, I will march over. A popsicle! Popsicle! You know, the kids get a kick out of it and they love it. And so I will sometimes use this one multiple times with the same student because it just works really well for some students. It's also really fun for the senses lesson and for the body parts lesson. So for example, kids are already paying attention because I'm a total goofball. But let's say I come in here and I get my ice cream cone and I go, the kid's like, huh? And then they, no, teacher, no. And then they show me, oh, I use my mouth. And then I tie in the target sentences about eating with your mouth. Pretty smart, huh? Kid doesn't even know. The kid doesn't even know that he or she is learning. It's just a lot of fun. So the sweets is a really fun one. I like displaying the bag because it's kind of fun. You know, I dive in and see what the student can get. This is one of my most popular ones. Another really popular one that I have that kind of can tie into this one is Dino Dollars. And I found this one on the Facebook page for VIPKID videos and props. Teacher Jennifer is the administrator for this group, and she is amazing. She has lots of videos also, and she's super helpful and friendly and amazing. Did I tell you that I love Teacher Jennifer? Anyway, so these are Dino Dollars. I don't remember exactly which teacher uploaded them first, but you can see this is pretty much how I use these. So I have numbered my Dino Dollars. On the back, they're magnetic. I've put magnets on them. I've numbered them with a wet erase marker so that they don't smudge as easily, but I can erase them, you know, with a little bit of that. I can erase them and change the numbers in case I get a kid who really wants these every single class so that he doesn't memorize which number is associated with which dollar amount. So, for example, I will have my Dino Dollars up here, right? I don't put them upside down. That's a little confusing. But I have my Dino Dollars up here, and I'll have all 6 of them up there, and I'll ask my student, which number would you like? 6? Okay. And then I peel it off. Oh, you got 50 Dino Dollars. Woohoo! 50 Dino Dollars. And I display it. The beautiful thing about Dino Dollars and any money reward that you use is at the end, you can peel them all off. Hopefully you've used them all at this point. You peel them all off. You can fan them out, make them look real nice, and you can have your student count up the total. Parents go crazy about this one because they like to see that their kid is doing some math. It really doesn't take them very long usually to add it up, especially if you put them, you know, in order, so 150, and just make them smaller amounts as you go. Parents absolutely adore this one, and you can tie it into other reward systems. So let's say that in this class, you know, your student got $186. That's how much this ends up being. Let's say that in the parent feedback, the feedback for the parents, you type, you know, so-and-so earned 186 Dino Dollars. Next class, he can redeem these Dino Dollars for sweets. And you can assign dollar amounts with these sweets. Now that's kind of involved. You don't have to do that. Many students are just happy to get the Dino Dollars, but it's just kind of a fun way to tie in other reward systems for future classes. And I can almost guarantee you that that student is going to want to come back and redeem his Dino Dollars. Pretty smart, huh? So that's another one that's really, really popular. The next one that is popular, this one is popular with, especially with the clothing unit, it's really, really great, is Mike getting dressed. So this is one that I tie in grammar very easily for. So this is Mike. You probably know who Mike is if you are a VIPKID teacher. You definitely do. And kids, first of all, just get excited to see him because Mike is almost the same size as my face. And that's just kind of exciting because usually he's about, you know, this big. But anyway, so at the beginning of the class, we talk about what Mike is wearing. All right, so we use wearing to talk about things that are already on there. So the kid already has that kind of an understanding. Bye, cupcakes. So throughout the class, sorry, this is a little crooked. Throughout the class, we give Mike a new outfit. So we practice putting on new clothes. So for example, Mike has this nice jersey. All right, so this whole outfit I got from that VIPKID videos and props page as well. Another teacher was really generous and shared it. I did edit it a little bit to make it fit in my classroom, but this one is really, really cool. So we practice putting on his shirt. Mike is putting on his shirt. And then by the end of class, he's got a full outfit on there, right? We can extend the lesson by talking about what a helmet is as opposed to a baseball cap. You know, there are lots of things you can do with the reward system. And at the end of class, they can see he's got his baseball, he's got his bat, he's ready to play baseball. So, and I always thank my student for helping Mike get dressed. So that's a really popular one. It's a lot of fun. I like that I can display it throughout the class and the student can see his outfit changing. It's just a really, really fun one. And speaking of sports, my last reward system that I am sharing with you today is sports related. So this one is really, really popular. I use this one sometimes in trial classes with new students, especially with rambunctious students. This one is a really good one. So if you already know that your kid is really energetic, this one is great. So I use different sports balls. So for example, if my lesson is about kicking and using your legs, then I will use my soccer balls. So I will actually have my student use his or her fingers to kick the ball onto the board. So, for example, I will demonstrate the first one. So I will do, when you do a good job today, you get a soccer ball. Yay! Look, look. Oh. Goal! My students love kicking the soccer ball. So after I demonstrate it one time, I leave that one up there. And then I have my student practice kicking one. So I have lots of soccer balls on hand in case I go through them a little faster. These were also on that same video page. So anyway, so the next one I will bring close to the camera so it's exciting. I will encourage the kid to use his fingers, and then I will help make the sound effects. So I will do this as well, but I will be making the sound effects. And if the student totally understands this, I will take my fingers away and just do the sound effects. So like, woo, goal! You know, that is super exciting for the kids. They love seeing them accumulate on the board, and just it keeps them involved, and it also keeps their fingers from drawing on the screen. Fun little tip, if they're kicking a ball, they can't be drawing on the screen if they're using their fingers. So that's a really fun one. Fun short little story for you. So one of my favorite students, yes, everyone has favorite students. I have about 200 of them. The very first time that I taught this student, I decided to use a basketball reward system. He had a basketball on his t-shirt. I had it nearby, so I decided to use it with him. And it happened to be a lesson about having fun, so I was able to tie things in with it. So basically, I got out my basketball, I introduced it, I showed him that I wanted him to bounce the ball and then shoot the ball. Right? I showed it to him. He got so excited. He immediately ran off the screen, and I thought, oh, great, I just lost my student. He ran off the screen, but only for about 10 seconds, and he came back with a basketball, like a real basketball. So throughout the class, when I told him that we were bouncing the ball, he actually bounced a ball. So you can imagine I was a little bit nervous when we got to the very end of the lesson. And this was the one that I wanted to use, a slam dunk. Yeah, he slam dunked the ball. So that one I actually have a hoop for. And when the kid does the slam dunk at the very end, I make sure it's a big deal. Whoosh! Yes! You know, and yeah, he definitely slam dunked in his bedroom. I was a little nervous for his tablet, but he survived. It survived, and the students have booked me ever since, and they give me really positive feedback on things like my reward systems. So I hope that this video has been helpful to you. Keep in mind, different things work for different people. This is just what works for me. I want to thank you for watching, and I hope that you've gotten something fun out of this lesson. Please feel free to leave comments, like, share, anything. I would love to help you more. So that's all I've got for you today, except for one last star. Whoosh! This is how I end my lessons. Thank you. Goodbye. Whoosh!